Okay, so we're home for our appointment, and I'm doing it as a video because Kate suggested that this way I could put it on, and if you want to watch it, you can watch it, and if you don't want to watch it, you don't have to, but I just didn't want to put up a picture and have somebody report something to Facebook and lose my Facebook account or something like that. So, hi. The appointment was good and bad. The ultrasound went so much better than I expected. I went in laughing, I came out laughing, and Kate was there the whole time with us, and we watched, you know, those little porgs from Star Wars with the big beady eyes, or like Beanie Babies. She had big black beady eyes that I thought she kept blinking at us in and out, and she kept burying her head in my pelvis and in her placenta, and like her fingers were up by her face, and her heart was strong, and her bones are growing at the 50th percentile, and like her whole body looked great except for the top of her head was still missing. But as Dawn pointed out, we saw in the 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional ultrasounds that a lot of her brain tissue was up and over her skull, which he said, isn't that new? Because we didn't see that in the other ultrasounds, and if her brain stopped growing at, you know, early on, would we see that? So her brain is still growing, and it's just not surrounded by the bones yet. So it was a good ultrasound. And then when we went into the doctor's office and we went through all the different things about C-sections and all that, it was a good appointment. But then towards the end of the appointment, the doctor kept going over like statistics with me of, you know, 30% don't even live an hour and 50% don't make it through birth. And I had brought up some statistics with her that were a little more hopeful, and I said, you know, I know this isn't a completely scientific study, it's just moms doing a survey, 340 moms doing a survey of what their experience was like, but and she goes, well, you know, it doesn't look at all these other factors, like when the baby was born and stuff. And I said, yeah, I mean, I knew that it did sort of look at those factors, but I couldn't quote it right there. So it's like, yeah, that's part of it, I know. And it's part, but there are a lot of babies out there that, you know, I want to plan for life. I know she can pass away easily, but I'm planning for life. And I'm straight up telling the doctors that I'm expecting a miracle, but I'm also planning for the hard stuff. So then the doctor started quoting me statistics, and I was like, now, do your statistics include babies that made it a term, or are they all from before? And she was clearly embarrassed, and she said, I'll have to find out, because she didn't know her own. But my point is, all that constant talk of death, like, why you gotta break my hope apart? Like, I get it, my baby's slated to die, but like, that doesn't mean I want to walk a funeral march. I want to, like, just let me have my hope, okay, lady? So it was a really hard appointment, and I was kind of a mess, but I want to show you the pictures, and let me just do that, because that'll be the good start. So things are never as great in the pictures as they are in real life. You know, real life was so fun watching. Oh God, I look a mess. Don't even look at this picture of me. How do I flip this around? All right, so here we go for the ultrasound picture. So this is a picture of her nose and lips. Very, very exciting, huh? Okay, so a little more exciting is here's where we get to begin to see her face. And so what you're looking at here is there's an eye here and an eye here, her nose, her lips, her chin, her cheeks, and see how the top of her skull there, her cranium just kind of cuts off. So that's what we saw a lot of. There's just not a lot of structure above her eye sockets. And so then we keep going. And oh, here's one that's a little bit better. You can see a little bit more of her nose and lip structure, her eyes, pockets for the eyes. One thing during the ultrasound, she had the hiccups, so she was really hard to photograph because she kept hiccuping. And so we watched her diaphragm go up and down, and the nurses were like, oh, she's practicing her breathing. Look at her breathing. She was just continually breathing, and her heart was strong, and all of her bones were the right size. So that was really cool. And then we're going to get to this is a hard picture, the next one coming up. It's the 3D ultrasound, and I'll show you what you're looking at here. So this is not a true to life necessarily. It's created by the computer trying to put things in place with the different layers of the regular ultrasound. But what we're seeing is this structure here is the placenta, and her eyes do look a little bit bulgy in this, but it's really hard to tell with it going on. Her lips and nose, her skin, like all 3D ultrasounds, looks like there's water pressure pushing in, and that's just kind of an effect of the 3D ultrasounds as far as I understand. And up here, this is what's interesting. So her bone structure seems to stop a little bit above her eyes, but she has a lot of new brain matter up there that wasn't there before. And it could just be brainstem that the computer put in the wrong place, but there's a good chance there's some chordal tissue there, and we're looking at an emerging brain, but she really needs a skull to go around that brain, so that's a good prayer point. So please pray that her brain will continue to grow and that she will grow bone around it. So basically, we just need a miracle. Bob, you're in the way. Hold on. Bob, go. Oh. All right. Last two pictures here. This one's a little bit boring. I'm not even sure what we're looking at. This one's kind of cute. Look at her sweet little lips and her sweet face. This is her continually burying into my pelvis and into other tissues where we couldn't get a good picture of her because she kept rolling her head and blinking her eyes, and her mouth was opening and closing. She was grabbing onto her fingers and just snuggling. She just looked happy, like she was snuggling everything and opening and closing, and then she'd kick and she'd have the hiccups and she'd move and bury her head in me, and it was so sweet. So it was really hard to get pictures, and the ultrasound team was awesome because they kept staying with it. But those are the best pictures that we were able to see of what might be going on with her. So pray, because in the end, we just need a miracle. Even a week of life is too short if we were so lucky to get that.